Okay, it's 4:30 in the morning. I don't know if you can hear this, but okay, so it is 10:03 a.m. on September 3rd, Monday, September 3rd. This is Labor Day. This is a day off. What do we got going on? Again, on everybody else's fucking weekend day off, this is the extended Labor Day weekend day off. This guy's got to be fucking chainsawing all day. What the fuck is wrong with this guy in the fucking head? What the fuck was that guy doing on my fucking driveway? So that fucking chainsaw asshole I just ripped a fucking new asshole with. That motherfucker I just told to fuck right off. It's fucking Labor Day. Fuck off, get the fuck out of here, and give us some fucking quiet on the only day of the year you're not supposed to be fucking working! Fucking asshole! He just grabbed his chainsaw and put it in the back of his fucking truck after sitting there for a fucking hour. Well, half an hour. I'm pretty sure he called the fucking cops and said people were fucking threatening him, but I wasn't threatening him. I was telling him to fuck off and to quit fucking making chainsaw noises on a fucking Labor Day weekend. Sure as hell fucking did. And then he just sat there for fucking half an hour. And I've come out about 3 or 4 times, and this is the last time. Now we got police here. How's it going? I'm not doing too well, considering somebody's completely ruining my quiet enjoyment on, what, Labor Day weekend, the only day of the year we're not supposed to be working?
Actually, he has full rights to work. That's part of his contract, is to work on a holiday.
Part of his contract with who?
Whoever had the contract today, he was told.
Oh, you mean our next door neighbors right here? Because that's their property.
No, he was contracted to work there.
At 5 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday.
It's Monday.
Well, that was yesterday. Today's Monday. Today's Labor Day long weekend, when all the businesses all over the place are closed. Doesn't this guy have a family to go be with?
This is just part of his contract. It says he has to work weekends and holidays. So he has to do his job.
Why does he have to work weekends and holidays? Because that's not part of any contract I've ever heard of.
Actually, my contract is like that.
You're a police officer, sir. He is a fucking chainsaw.
Yeah. And that's how some people, like people work at restaurants, people work at gas stations, their contracts are work on weekends and holidays. His contract tells him that he has to work here.
Yeah, on the weekdays, but not at 5 o'clock in the morning. Not on a freaking national holiday.
That's how his contract is.
I don't believe that, because I've seen him working here during the week. I've seen him doing his thing during normal business hours when everybody else works.
And yeah, that's what he does. But
okay, now that neighbor, myself, that neighbor, this neighbor, how many times do we have to call in complaints on a guy at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning?
We've spoke to him, and the bylaw is that he's allowed to work during that time.
No, that's not right. He's not some kind of road professional or something that has to do his job when there's no traffic. He's chopping trees down. He can do this at any time. He can hire other people to work during the week instead of at 5 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday or at 9 o'clock on the morning on a long weekend, right?
The thing is, that's what his contract tells him.
I'd like to see this contract, please, because I don't believe that. Somebody with a chainsaw who's cutting down trees does not develop that kind of contract unless he's overworking himself and trying to harass the rest of the neighborhood.
He's not harassing anybody.
Yeah, he is. He's harassing me. He's harassing her. He's harassing everybody that's called you guys to stop him. And that's called harassment.
We've all spoken about that. I already know about this, and the thing is, he's allowed to work during those times. The thing is,
I'm allowed my voice as well then. I can tell him to fuck off.
Honestly, you going up to there, it's like...
I didn't go up. I actually only went up to right there. I didn't even fucking get to the road.
Like,
the fact is if he could fucking yell with the chainsaw, I can yell with my voice, right? It is called freedom of expression.
Yeah, but the thing is, you're also kind of terrifying him.
Well, he's not letting me fucking sleep. He's not fucking...
I can barely hear it.
Oh yeah, of course, right now he's not doing anything. He just drove up in his fucking truck and he's watching us talk.
Well, I know he's cutting right now, but...
No, he's not.
He's trying to finish this thing up and then he's going to leave.
Oh yeah, when is that? 5-6 months from now? Because he's been going for 2.5 straight months every Sunday fucking morning. I have it on fucking tape. I've been recording it and putting it on YouTube because this guy is so goddamn harassing.
The thing is that he's allowed to. The county's...
I have a right to quiet enjoyment, and so does the rest of the neighborhood.
You don't need to listen.
We have rights.
Honestly, one thing is you can go talk to the county about it and ask them.
That's what you guys are, aren't you?
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Okay, so why are you not enforcing our rights to quiet enjoyment throughout the neighborhood?
He hasn't broken his mind.
Yeah, he has. He is disrupting our right to quiet enjoyment. He is harassing us with the work hours that he's doing.
That's his work hours.
I'd like to see this contract because I don't believe that. Somebody with a chainsaw does not get a contract to start at 4 and 5 in the morning. That's completely absurd. We both know that.
I know he doesn't start at 4 in the morning.
Yeah, he does.
I understand the fact that
This is every fucking weekend, the whole time I've been visiting my parents here. Every morning at 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. Now today's Labor Day, the only day of the year nobody's supposed to be working. And what's he doing? Why doesn't he hire somebody to do the job during the week?
This is his job.
If it's his job, he should be doing it during regular business hours, sir, and not be harassing and disrupting our quiet enjoyment, correct?
Honestly, I can't say anything to that.
No, you can't. All you know is that this guy has some kind of contract, which is total bullshit, because I have a charter of rights as a Canadian to quiet enjoyment. Now, this guy's completely disrupting it. He's harassing me on the frickin' weekends, first thing in the morning. Please do something about him.
Honestly, we've already spoken about this.
So then start laying charges down. The guy is harassing and disrupting the whole neighborhood at stupid hours and insane hours.
As I said, he hasn't broke any criminal code laws.
Neither have I, so what are you doing here? I haven't even threatened him. I told him to fuck off. That's all I've done, twice. Fuck off!
Yeah, and he called us because he was kind of getting terrified you were going to go up there and, cause something.
Well, I haven't even crossed my fucking lawn, so the guy has undue fears. And he's obviously trying to instigate something. If he's coming back...
I spoke to him, and I've known him...
Sir, either tell him to do things in a proper, normal human way, or I am going to lay charges. And it's not going to be you guys, it's going to be federal, it's going to be provincial. This is civil, obviously.
That's
still us. Civil? Really?
Oh, civil? No.
Okay, no, I didn't think civil was you. No.
No, you said federal. I was like, federal.
You are federal, yeah, and you're supposed to be upholding my rights to quiet enjoyment. And you're not doing that right now, sir.
Right now, we've looked at the bylaws, we looked at the code, and he's doing everything he's allowed to do. That's
bullshit. He is breaking my Charter of Rights and Freedoms to quiet enjoyment, and I will not stand for it.
His part of the contract is to work, and we looked at the bylaws, he's allowed to work from a certain time in the morning to a certain time in the evening.
What is that? What is that time?
6 a.m. to 11 p.m.
What? Are you people insane around here? In Vancouver, you are not allowed to work on a Sunday. On Saturdays, it is 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. On the weekdays, it is 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. That's the city of Vancouver. That's the city of Halifax. What the fuck is wrong with this county? Doesn't anybody believe in rights to quiet enjoyment on the weekend?
People here have to work.
Yeah, they do. During the week. So our weekend is our time off where we get quiet enjoyment. That is our right as Canadian citizens, and he is depriving all of us of that right. Now it is your job federally to stop him from doing that.
No, because he's as a Canadian
rights
citizen.
To quiet enjoyment trump any kind of frickin' bylaws in a county. It's federal. You know that as well as I do.
Right now, He hasn't broken any bylaws.
Right now, he is breaking federal laws to our rights to quiet enjoyment. Please do something about it.
Honestly, he isn't.
Yes, he is. How do you get so many calls from all the residents around here if he isn't breaking our quiet enjoyment? Because that's an obvious sign he is. Now please uphold the law or leave us all the fuck alone to sort it out ourselves. Because obviously you're not going to help, are you? I have a right to quiet enjoyment. It is my federal right, and it trumps any county law, any bylaws the cities come up with. Please enforce the federal law since you are a federal officer. I'm on record for complaining against this guy. I've given you my full information when I've made complaints. You got my plate.
Alright, do you mind just grabbing your information right now? Just I need your first name. I don't need to do that. Alright. But if you do want to make a complaint, your parents do want to make a complaint, you guys can go to Annapolis County and try to make this a civil claim, and then you can go that way.
Yeah, I'm planning on it. If you're not going to enforce the federal law, then I'm going to have to find some other way to get the law enforced, aren't I?
You can make this a civil complaint, but I said criminally nothing has happened.
Okay, so then what are you doing here?
I'm here because he felt like he was being threatened by you.
Okay, well somebody actually has to say something threatening in order to feel threatened, don't they? Don't I have to utter threats in order for you to be here?
You're going over there saying...
I'm not. I'm going not even to the tree. You see that right there? Those little 2 potholes? That's as far as I've ever gone. I've gone that far. I've told him to fuck off.
Yeah, but he felt threatened.
I feel threatened when somebody starts a chainsaw at 5 o'clock in the fucking morning.
I know he doesn't start that early.
Yeah, he has. We have called you that early before.
I know once he did it at 5 in the morning. We spoke to him, told him he wasn't allowed to do it till 6. And he said, okay, he agreed, and then he started coming around after 6.
Yeah, on Sunday mornings.
Mind for your first name?
This is my parents' home. I'm here visiting from Vancouver for the summer.
And Benjamin, what's your last name?
Pearson, P-E-A. Now, it's not the chainsaw. That's just his little push machine where he blocks up the wood.
You said again, Unit 1011?
No, Unit 211. Yeah, that's
all
nothing.
The way from here from Vancouver?
Yeah, I drove all the way from Vancouver to spend the summer with my parents, and now every single frickin' Sunday morning, I got some jackass waking me up with a frickin' chainsaw, and now on Labor Day, Monday long weekend, when every business in the whole fucking place is closed, I got some asshole starting up at 9 o'clock in the morning.
I guess there's a lot of businesses open up right now still, even though it's...
Are there?
Yeah.
Really? Because all of Digby's shut down.
All the
I can't even go to the salvage place.
Restaurants.
Yeah, half the gas stations.
Gas stations, restaurants.
This runs off propane. Royal Propane's closed right now.
Can I have your phone number?
778-8691.
So, and your parents can make a civil claim if they want, saying we want them to work, a bit less, or like not during these hours. I know I can speak to him about it, but the thing is, under bylaw, he is allowed to work from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m.
That's absurd. That's absolutely absurd. So people get 7 hours for quiet enjoyment around here, and that's it. Not even one day out of the weekend do you get quiet enjoyment in this county. That's insane.
That's the bylaw. But
okay.
If your parents want to go to the county, and you can say like, hey, can we move this up an hour? They can make those claims, right?
Right.
Because then he will have to abide by it. But until right now, he's abiding by the law and by law.
No, he's abiding by the bylaw, but the federal law states I have a right to quiet enjoyment, and he's not respecting that, and you're not upholding that for some reason. I don't know why.
We've already talked about it with other officers, and we've all agreed that he's not breaking any laws, and he's not breaking bylaws.
Great. So he's totally allowed to completely piss off the fucking residents and disregard everybody's right to quiet enjoyment, wake us all up first thing fucking butt crack in the morning on the weekends. That's really nice. That's amazing. What a beautiful fucking country we live in, where people are free to disturb the entire neighborhood, but one guy telling him to fuck off gets the police called on him.
He's free to work.
I'm free to tell him to fuck off too. That's my right of freedom of expression.
At a certain point, because it can be considered as positive disturbance.
No, I've got to threaten somebody before it becomes legal matter. I have not threatened anything. I've told the guy to fuck off on no uncertain terms in several different ways, but I have never, ever threatened him. I have not even gone up to the fucking road. I have gone that far. This is as far as I go, right here, so that I can fucking look him in the eye and tell him to fuck off! That's all I'm doing. So if he has the right to fucking chainsaw and wake me up at 7 o'clock in the morning, I've got the right to stand on my parents' property and tell him to fuck off, don't I? My voice isn't as loud as a goddamn chainsaw, so don't even try to fucking turn it around on me. Okay, today's experiment, we're going to start off. This is still climbing. We just started this up. We're going to do a double spiral with the zinc. And we're going to let it warm up first. Okay, it is now 6:30 p.m. I've had this thing running for how long now? A long time. We're actually seeing spikes. We're actually seeing things jump out of the water here. We are at just under or over 6 amps. We're at 6 amps, let's put it that way. With these two coils, they're still operating beautifully. Let's see what it looks like. And again, these actually look pretty good. I'm not seeing much degradation going on. I'm seeing a bit of degradation now, but not much. Went down to 5 amps. Back down to 5 amps. So it'll probably hover at about 5 amps. Oh, the water is slightly warm now. Now you gotta understand, I started this at 1 p.m. So this is 5.5 hours. The water is now lukewarm. Like, lukewarm, not even hot. So there is a little bit of heat passage going on in there.
Oh.
But the tiniest amount. Hey there.
Sorry to bother you. Are you Benjamin?
I am.
Yeah, I'm Patrick.
How can I help you?
I'm gonna call your father. Nice to meet you. I got a call from your father. He's got some concerns. I'm not sure if you're speaking to him or not today, were you? Or?
Yeah, I've been talking to him all day today.
Have you?
By text.
By
text?
Text, okay.
Yeah.
He just had some concerns about damage to the property here. Is there anything that we need to be looking at? Actually,
is there damage to the property?
Before you say anything, obviously you know I'm a police officer, right? And I think you say you can use evidence. You understand that, right?
I understand you're a police officer, and it's not customary usually for a police officer to hold his hand out and shake a guy's hand, so you gotta assume you're friendly.
I like to introduce myself before I before I get started. But like I said, what are you doing here?
I'm turning water into fuel.
Okay.
This is water, obviously.
Yeah.
What I got going on here is 12 volts on these are zinc coils.
Okay.
And what is going on here is I've actually managed to actually create electrolysis. I'm dividing the H2O into hydrogen and oxygen atoms.
Okay.
And so what you're seeing bubbling up there is actually H2 and O2.
Okay.
All right. So you get 2 parts hydrogen for every part oxygen.
Right.
Right, because that's the way the chemical thing goes. Now, if I can make enough of this fast enough, I can power my van without any other fuel.
Okay. Did you change anything to your van to do that? Or
Yeah. This is actually a setup I've taken out of my van. You can see I've been using it.
Okay.
This is steel here. And that piece right there actually gives me 35% fuel economy. Like, it produces 35% of my entire fuel.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not. So what I'm doing with these 2 coils is I'm actually trying to create 50%. I'm actually trying to do 50-50 because my van runs off propane. There are no propane stations in this place. And so I've gotten really sick and annoyed with trying to find propane out of barbecue tanks.
Yeah.
And so I've got up to 35%. I'm thinking I got about 50% here. I've actually been testing it for the last 5.5 hours now, just running it for a straight 5.5 hours. You can see this here. This is actually only 3 hours worth, and the metal is actually getting pretty bad.
Yeah.
But after 5.5 hours of the zinc, see that's steel, this is zinc,
right.
And you can see that the zinc is actually working pretty freaking well.
That's awesome. Good for you.
It is.
I don't think I could do that in a million years, to be honest.
Well, when my father first heard about it, he thought I was going to blow up the place.
Okay. That's reasonable. I have no clue about any of that stuff, to be honest with you. So,
yeah.
like I said, I mean, is this damage to the truck new, or what's...
Well,
it's obviously an older truck, right?
it's an older truck. He's damaged it quite a bit here and there. I did put a couple punches in it today after talking to him by text.
Okay.
The fact is my father's an abusive asshole.
Okay.
And because of his abuse, my eldest sister, testified on the stand. Hey, down.
Oh, that's okay.
Testified on the stand about 8 years ago that she's afraid that when I yell, I might become violent to my son. So now for the last 8 years of my life, I've had nothing but supervised visits because my eldest sister is afraid of my yelling, because my father is the abusive asshole who yells and starts hitting people and shit like that.
Okay.
Now this morning, I've had a number of upsets. First, I get woken up by a chainsaw at 7 o'clock in the morning on a frickin' weekend.
Right.
On a long weekend. On Labor Day of all days. Aren't all non-essential businesses supposed to be shut down today?
No. They you have a right to operate a business, right? I think there's an hour, so I think it's either, I think it's 7 o'clock. I
was told 6 a.m. to 11 p.m., which is absolutely obscene.
Yeah.
Obscene.
I'm not, I can't, I can't
Anyways,
call it off the top of my head.
The fact is, that guy was going, I was stepping up and saying, turn that fucking thing off so fucking early in the morning. He called the cops this morning on me and said, oh, this guy's scaring me. I feel like he's threatening me. When I didn't even go across the road on him.
Right.
I just, from like right there, 10 feet from where you're standing, was telling him to shut the fuck up and fuck off on a weekend.
Right.
The guy's been doing it every Sunday morning the entire time I've been here. I've been here since May 16th.
Right.
Okay, Kylie, stop, please. Every Sunday morning, this guy's got a chainsaw going at 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
We have all of these tenants, all of these neighbors here and myself have all called into the police and told this guy to shut the fuck up.
Right.
So early in the morning. Sorry. Just thinking about it pisses me off.
Right.
The fact is right after I had that encounter, I find dog shit on my driver's seat.
Right.
Somebody fed my dog a laxative in the middle of the night last night, and he shit all over my fucking driver's seat by this morning. I know it was a laxative because I let my dog out and watched it take a shit at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
Now, normally, that dog holds it from 9 p.m. until 9 a.m. She has no problem holding it. And then I find a whole bunch of diuretic fucking crap and pieces of laxative on her fucking muzzle. Somebody fed my dog a laxative and then started up a fucking chainsaw this morning.
Right.
Kylie, come. Come here. Good girl. She's in the neighbor's yard. Sometimes there's a big white dog over there. And Kylie, come. Come on. Good girl. So I'm already worked up over these two incidences now.
Right.
I get pictures on my phone from my father hanging out with my son.
Right.
I've already told my father, I don't want you anywhere near my fucking son. I don't want him learning the fucking violence and control dramas that you fucking tried teaching me that I had to break just so that I could fucking be a father to my son, and then have my eldest sister testify against me on the stand saying, I'm afraid when he yells because he might become violent. Even though in 25 years of our adult lives, I've never been violent with her when I've yelled. I've never been violent with anybody when I yell.
Right.
My yelling is my way of letting out my violence. When my voice raises, that means I'm letting out. I'm venting.
Right.
Okay? That's as far as it goes, because I learned from my father that once you stop yelling and you start becoming physical, people get hurt. I don't want to hurt anybody.
Right.
So I yell. That's what I do. That's how I vent my frustration and emotions. My voice gets loud. I got a really freaking loud voice. I can literally shatter glass with it.
Right.
Now, I told my father in no uncertain terms, I do not want him hanging out with my son. Now, he's in Vancouver, on my home turf, hanging out with my son and sending me pictures of it on my phone.
Right.
I'm telling him to get the fuck away from my son. I'm telling him, get the fuck out of there, get my fucking son the fuck out of there, or you put some fucking supervision on the two of you, because you're the one that should have had your family fucking taken away, not me.
Right.
So, Auntie Carol comes in, and Dave.
Is that a relative?
Family friends. They are lifelong family friends of my mother and my father.
Okay.
They have known me since I was 1.5 years old. they've known my parents longer. The fact is, I got them coming in and asking me all sorts of shit, like honking their horn at me for no fucking reason while I'm standing right there, when they could come up and walk up to me and everything else. They asked me what's going fucking wrong and everything else, and I'm like, look, I don't want my fucking father hanging out with my fucking son. I'm trying to stop the generational fucking violence here.
Right.
I have never touched my son, and I will not have my father hanging out with my son and fucking doing who the fuck knows what behind my fucking back.
Right.
So I'm telling all this shit to them, and I'm fucking frustrated as shit, and I put a couple fucking knocks in my father's fucking truck.
Okay.
And that's all I've done.
Right. Okay. Okay. I'll call him back and tell him what's going on here, right? I mean, obviously there's...
I mean, he did make a comment before he left about don't burn the house down, and I'm pretty sure today he's probably thinking, is my son going to burn the house down because I suggested
that could
it?
be the case, right? I mean, there's nothing, you know.
Yeah, so my question to you is, my father called you?
Well, yeah, we got a call. He was concerned about the property, right? And that's the basic, right? So,
Okay, well,
I'm not...
It has been so long between the time that we had our phone conversation and me hitting this and you arriving. I could have burned this whole fucking property down by now and been gone scot-free.
Right.
So, I mean, like, if I was going to do anything, it would have already been done.
Well, that's, you know, like I said, that's why I didn't approach you trying to be all, you know, you're under arrest, right? Because you're not, first of all.
Thank you.
I don't have any concerns right now.
Well, I haven't done anything to be arrested.
I'm going to call your father. Well, the damage to the vehicle is one thing, right? It's not your vehicle. You can be charged with that. Okay? Now...
All right, well, charge my fucking father for hitting the shit out of me for 12 years of my life then.
That's something that, you know, you guys can maybe work out, but I'm going to have to talk to him about that, okay?
Yeah.
So that's why we called you, okay? That's pretty much it.
Okay, so Auntie Carol reported to him that I smashed up his truck, and so he called you to find out if I'm smashing anything else up.
I think it's a number of things, right? I think, like you said, right? Like it's coming an escalation of events, right?
Yeah, and not only that, but I haven't had a cigarette in 2 days, and I've been a smoker since I was 5 years old. So I mean,
a cigarette?
Do you have any?
I have a cigarette. I always have cigarette.
Why were cops called here a second time today? Well, let's see here. You see that dent? You see that dent? You can actually see my knuckle prints. That's what I did to my dad's truck after when Auntie Carol and Dave were here, and they reported that to Dad, and Dad called the police to make sure I wasn't busting down the rest of their house or blowing it up. And like I told the officer, if I wanted to fucking torch this whole thing, it would be done and I'd be gone by now. I mean, you gotta admit, those are pretty good knuckle prints. You can actually see my knuckles. Now, I'm gonna note, today I have, yesterday and today I've been quitting smoking. It's been tumultuous. I've been yelling a lot. With all this shit going on today, I've been extremely aggravated by it all, and that's the outcome of it. So, what the fuck is this?